My name is Chris, and I travel to meet influential women who are happy to tell their stories in order to help you find and achieve your dream career. Because let's face it, sometimes we don't always know who to ask or where to go to for advice. So grab a notepad and maybe some coffee and join us for Chats with Chris. Hey everyone, welcome to Chats with Chris. Today I have LA-based fashion blogger Evelyn Madera here with me.
Hello.
You know, it's crazy because I've been following you on Instagram for years,
and
now you're finally here in person live.
That's so cool.
Thank you for coming again.
Yeah.
So did you grow up here in LA? Or?
I did. I grew up here in LA, in Huntington Park.
And you have a blog called Posh Scene.
Yes.
Which, first of all, I adore that name, Posh Scene. I think it's a really cool name.
Thank you.
How did you come up with that name?
Honestly, I came up with it thinking of Victoria Beckham.
Oh,
Remember her?
Okay,
She was a
Spice Girl.
So I thought of her when I named it.
What inspired you to become a blogger?
So my sister suggested I download Instagram, and when I did, I noticed that a lot of girls would post pictures of either their makeup or their outfits, and they would suggest for you to click on their website, on their blog.
Yeah.
And so then I started noticing that, and I thought, oh, I can create a blog too. So that's when I just went online and I Googled how to start a blog, and then I created one myself. Yeah.
So were you always into fashion before that, or
Yes,
did it just kind of happen?
I've always
after?
been into fashion. Like, I like dressing up. I like doing my hair, my makeup, but it wasn't something that I was like, striving to become someone in the fashion, anything. I wasn't. I didn't study fashion. I didn't go to a fashion school. So it was just more like a personal thing that I like dressing up.
It happened naturally.
Yes, it just happened naturally.
And did you go to school, or?
I did. I went to Cal State Long Beach.
And what did you major in?
I double majored in history and bio.
So yeah, like you said, nothing to do with fashion.
Yeah, nothing to do with fashion.
And did you do anything with history and
No,
biology at all?
I didn't. So a year before graduating, I quit my job to devote my entire time to finishing school, and I was supposed to take a year off to apply to med schools and to take the MCAT, and that's when my blog took off, so then I didn't even end up doing any of that.
How long have you been blogging now?
It's 4 years now, so I'm going on to my 5th year.
As far as your blog goes, what has been your most successful post?
I know when it's my birthday, those are usually very popular. Also, if I'm really dressed up, maybe for New Year's, those are usually very popular, but I can't think of one specific one.
So maybe events, whenever you have a big event?
Yes.
And how long does it typically take you to write a blog post?
Oh, it's really fast. It honestly only takes me about 20 minutes. What takes longer is choosing the images and uploading them, and I don't really edit them too much because I want them to look natural. Yeah. I want whoever's looking at them to feel like, oh, she looks just like me. It's not overdone, so I can do it too,
So about how many hours a week would you say you put into with everything, getting ready for a photo shoot, the actual photo shoot, and then editing and writing?
I would probably say a week. So if I break it down per day, I would say per day it's a good 6 hours, so 6 times 5 is 30, so 30 hours a week.
Okay. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it really is work. Yeah.
People think it's just you just take pictures, you just post it, and that's
right. And then that's the time getting ready and taking pictures and uploading them. There's other things going on as well besides that, so it's more than 30 hours.
What is a typical day like?
First thing, I always check my emails. That's the first one I do. As soon as I wake up, I check my emails, reply to them right away, because in the past I used to read them and then I was a little bit hesitant about replying, or how am I going to reply? I'm nervous. And then 3 days would go by, and by the time I would reply, the offer would be off, oh, we already booked other people, you didn't get back to us on time, so I make sure to
immediately respond
right away. Yeah.
So do you have, this is something I feel like everybody wants to know, especially as a fashion blogger, do you have a personal photographer, or do you bring your camera and tripod?
Oh, okay. So before, I had a boyfriend, and he used to take my pictures for me. And so that was the best ever. Yeah. So if you have a boyfriend, he's taking your pictures for you, that's the best thing. It's free. And then so yeah. But now I do. I have a photographer, and when he's not available, sometimes even my 17-year-old nephew helps me.
Aww.
Yeah. And on occasion, I do use a tripod. I just set it up, and I can control my camera with my phone, and I have a 2-second timer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I take it and I'm like twirling away, and it'll take my picture.
So you hire a photographer to help you?
Yes.
Do you have a set schedule, like we're working on these days, or is it
Yes.
like last minute?
No,
Like,
it's a set schedule because he also works with other people, and then I think he also has an actual full-time job.
Oh, okay.
So I have to work around his schedule too. So it's almost like every 2 weeks is when we message each other, like what days is he available, and then that's how I'll plan out what we're shooting.
So when you first started taking photographs for your blog, was it awkward just going like to the middle of a street and just posing in front of everybody?
Very awkward and nerve-wracking, especially because people stare and they really stare. Like they're not just like, oh, okay, I see that girl taking a picture. No, they're like, they stop and they really look at you, and then they, they're like, really? She's taking a picture of that? Like, what? I think I look cute. I guess I don't. So that does mess with your mood a little bit, especially when you're starting out. It's nothing, but at the same time, like, you want to make it into something, and so it is a little bit nerve-wracking. And then you have to come out of your comfort zone as well, so you have to be with someone who will encourage you in that moment, because that can make it or break it. Like,
True.
If, let's say, your friend or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whoever you're with, is taking your picture and is like rolling his eyes, sighing the entire time, or just telling you, can you hurry up, like, that's so gonna mess your mood.
Doesn't affect how you look in the picture.
Yeah, and then you're gonna say, you know what, screw this, I'm not gonna do it anymore, and then that's the end of that. So it's really important to have someone who will support you 100% the entire time, especially in the beginning, especially then,
true.
because you're so vulnerable. I mean, you're taking yourself outside, putting these pictures out into the world for people to like judge you and look at you and criticize you, so you don't want any of that.
Have you ever had like a big crowd of people just come? Like, what's the most you've seen, like, for people standing outside just watching you?
Sometimes you want to go to like locations that are like busy or popular, and so yeah, you have like a crowd of people of like, I don't know, 30 people just standing around, and then you're just like there trying to like walk through.
How do you choose locations for your photos?
I like to find backgrounds that feel very clean, that will complement my outfit. So if I'm wearing like something really bright, really loud, I definitely don't want a wall that's really loud behind me. So I make sure to pick something that's like solid color. It's not like major, like, oh, we have to scout locations. It's more like, can we find a nice wall, maybe like a nice little walkway. And it's very easy to find that here, I feel, in LA.
So do you have to plan like in advance? Like, I need to make sure on Monday we're shooting here and I'm wearing this.
First things first is, do I have to post anything on a certain date? So for instance, this sweater, do I have to post a picture of it, by November 20th? So if I do, then that means I have to plan out when I'm gonna wear it, where I'm gonna wear it to, and then think of a place where it would go well to take a picture of it. So yes, I do plan out my outfits based on when a post is due. And
it's due because of your partnerships?
Yes, sometimes, yeah, or sometimes also it's due because based on the time period, like if it's the holidays, I want to, take a picture with a cute fuzzy sweater during this time, and I want it to be uploaded before Thanksgiving, just so that it could give people ideas of like maybe what to wear for Thanksgiving dinner. So that's how I plan them out.
So how do you garner your followers? Does it happen naturally, or do you have like a strategy for it?
In the beginning, I did have a strategy in the sense that I followed a lot of people. So there was this girl, she's based in Amsterdam. I learned everything from her, and she actually followed nearly 1 million people. That's when Instagram allowed you to follow an infinite amount of people. And so I noticed that, and I was like, I'm gonna do the same. But then that's when I found out they capped it now at 7,500. So then I thought, it's fine, I'll follow 7,500 people. If at least half of them can follow me back, that starts a little momentum going, right? Over time, people tag their friends, or I was featured, and so then that's how it started growing.
Okay. And now, what is your strategy? Just naturally,
yes, it just happens. It really helps when I get featured either on a website or I get mentioned by someone.
So when you get featured on websites and stuff, is it you reaching out to the sites or them reaching out to you, or a little bit of both?
Oh, it's a little bit of both. So every single clothing brand, if you notice, has a special hashtag, and they usually on their website will have a section where you can upload your look of, like, let's say they have a dress and it says like you can upload your look wearing that dress. I've done that with all of them. Like, even if I'm not working with them directly, but if I bought a dress from Banana Republic, I'm gonna post it on their website.
How do you find ways to stand out in such a saturated market? Because there's so many fashion bloggers out there.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I just wear what I like to wear. I assume that if I'm wearing it in a way that looks good, it'll attract people to like it and follow me. I guess I just do my own thing and hope for the best.
Be you.
Yeah.
How do you get brand partnerships?
Okay, so brand partnerships come in various ways. Either they find you and their social marketing person reaches out to you directly through either direct message through Instagram or through email, or also I reach out to a lot of PR companies and I just introduce myself like, hey, this is me, I would like to work with you. So that's two ways. And then there's also a lot of programs where you sign up and you create a profile. I know there's one called 4Card, and so you basically create a profile and all your stats are listed there, and for brands to look at it, and if they want, let's say, I don't know, Clinique wants 50 bloggers, they can go onto that website and see a catalog of everyone who's available, their reach, everything, their age group, all the demographics, and if you're one of the 50, you get a message, and then that's how it works.
So which way would you say has helped you the most?
I would say either through 4Card, that one really helps out. And then also through them reaching out to me directly.
At first, was it you reaching out to?
Yes.
Okay.
So every day I used to have like a goal, and right in the beginning, every day I would have to send at least 20 emails, at least. And then I thought that number is actually kind of small, so I upped it to like 30, 35. Every single day. If I would see someone wearing something and I would click on their image and I would notice that they tagged like a PR group or a special brand or a brand that I didn't even know about, and I saw that they were like up and coming, I would reach out to them. I would go online and find out who is their marketing person, who's their social media person, who, like, any email that I could find, and I would send out an email.
And how long did that take you, that process every day when you first started out?
I mean, it would take me like 3 hours a day to just go online and, scavenge hunt, basically, yeah, and like find someone, and then after sending out 20 emails, you might just get one response back.
What was your first partnership, and what did that experience feel like?
I think it was in exchange for like jewelry, and I was so excited, like, I'm getting all this free jewelry. Like, I still have the ring. It's like a rose gold ring with like a blue rock on it, and it's really pretty, and I think it's from Italy. And I was so excited, like, I'm getting like nice fancy jewelry. Yeah, it's not Forever 21.
Right.
It's like, it won't turn my finger green. So I was really excited about that. And I don't even think I got paid for it, but I was so happy. Like, I was so validated. Like, that means I must be doing something right.
The number one question that I think everybody wants to know is about how much would you say you're making from blogging?
So every month I need to, like, for my personal expenses, I need to make $5,000. My personal expenses, that covers everything for me. So I'm meeting that every month, and luckily, like, a lot of times I'm also exceeding that as well, which is really good.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
And at first, how much were you making when you first started off? Like, maybe the first 6 months.
Yeah, the first 6 months, definitely nothing. I started earning actual money, I would say, after the 1 year mark. And then it started off with, $100 here, $100 there, and then it was like, okay, and then I can charge $300, or now I can, and then also it depends on the brand. If you are working with a brand that is established, I feel like you should do your research and figure, like, well, that means I can charge more. I mean, if they're working with these other people that have a huge following, that means they're paying them thousands of dollars, so then I assume they should be able to pay me a bit more than just $300 for a post as well. You have to do your research on that end. Obviously, I'm not gonna charge a small up-and-coming brand like $2,000 for a picture. I already know they're not going to be able to afford me, and they won't be able to pay me that. My mindset is I have to get a certain amount every month to meet my expenses. So I don't mind charging you $3,000 if you're an established brand, and then charging this guy over here $1,000 if they're up and coming. Like, I don't care. I fluctuate, whereas other people won't. I feel I have to be flexible in that end. I mean, I'm gonna miss out on $1,000 over here just because I'm telling them, no, you must pay me $3,000. They are, you know, like,
right.
Why would I turn that down? And then, you know, over time, maybe they rise and they become like major, and then they'll want to work with me again, and then they'll be able to pay me $10,000.
So I have to ask you, what is the most you've been paid for one picture?
The most I've been paid for one picture was $4,000. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I could have probably charged a good $6,000.
Well, how long did it take you to figure out that you can charge more? Did you know that right away, or did you?
No, I found out just by observation. So, for instance, I would get an email like, we would like to work with you, or I would get on a call, and they would tell me, how much do you charge? I would give them my price, and it would be like, okay, great. So then I thought, oh my gosh, there was no back and forth. That means that I charged too little. So then I started going really high, and then I started getting like, oh, you know, that's a lot, or blah, blah. So then I slowly started noticing like, okay, that's too much, that's too little. I don't know, I started noticing it that way. And then now what I do is I ask, what is your budget?
Who or what has been your biggest fashion inspiration?
Who has been my biggest fashion inspiration? I think, okay, so the girl that I learned everything from in regards to how to curate my Instagram account is a girl in Amsterdam. Her name is Negin, and she's the one that followed nearly 1 million people to get 1 million people to follow her back. But I just really liked her aesthetic and the way that she would carry herself in her pictures. Even to this day, like, she has been my biggest fashion inspo. I studied her account. Like, I would sit and study her account 3 hours a day. Just what was
3
she?
hours?
Yeah,
wow.
I really did. Sometimes it was even longer. All day, I would just go through her account from the beginning. So I studied her, and it was just, I think it's the way that she takes pictures. When she looks at you in the camera, I feel like, oh my gosh, she's looking at me. Like, you know, regardless of, it's a picture online, but she's looking at me. And so it felt very personal.
And did she post every day, a couple times a day?
So in the beginning, she used to post 6 times a day. And she used to start with a selfie. And so she used to start with a selfie, and then with like a half shot of her outfit. And then she would, her third post usually used to be like a picture of a blog post that she has. So she would be promoting that, like, go link in bio, right? And then she would post a picture of her food or her surroundings. And then she would post a picture of her entire outfit. And then right before nighttime, because I knew it was nighttime for her because she's in Amsterdam, she would post another picture of promoting her blog post. So it was 2 pictures promoting her blog post and 4 of her in that day.
Wow.
So she used to post 6 times a day. Now she's toned it down because she doesn't need to do that anymore. So now she usually just posts like 1 or 2 a day.
So would you suggest starting off, you post more often?
Definitely. At least 3 times a day in the beginning. 3. Early in the morning, midday, and then at night.
Well, thank you again. I appreciate you coming out to sit here and talk with me.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course. So I've listed her blog and her Instagram below. Be sure to go follow her. And stay tuned. I have a segment coming out that's called My Biggest Failure. And also, if you like this interview, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.
Yay! Give it a big thumbs up.